Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing good. So in today's video, I am going to share a live interview recording for the senior BI developer position for Concentrix company. I got shortlisted in this interview for the next round. So I thought to share the recording with you guys. Take a pen and paper and note down each question and try to find answer on your own. Do not consider 100% accuracy in this recording because whatever answers that I have been given is totally based on my work experience, so I might be wrong at certain point. So make sure you have to validate all answer on your own and prepare your own notes. So here I'm going to share the interview recording.
Okay. So I think we can get started.
Yeah.
Okay. So Akshay, can you just start off start with the introduction? Can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure.
Start with your qualification, companies you work for, the projects you work for.
Sure. So my name is Akshay. I have completed my bachelor's in electronics and telecommunications engineering in 2015, and it's been now 6 years I am working. So initial 1.5 year I was into the telecom and networking domain for the support projects, where I used to support end user for network related issues, and on that I got chance to interact with the different customers and the stakeholders. And the technology perspective, I got good hands-on my MS Excel. So after that, I started working as a data analyst into the sensor technology, and I was into the support and business operations project for the sales team and the finance team. So I used to prepare the Tableau dashboards for them, and pricing and ordering reports for them. And if they have any issues into the orders and the pricing, then I used to fix that with collaboration with the different DBA teams by collecting the data and preparing the ad hoc report. And in my current role, I am working with the finance team for developing their revenue and quarter to quarter finance Tableau dashboards. So here it's in general, like I on day to day basis I connect with the different stakeholders to understand the exact business requirement, and based on that I write a SQL query to identify relevant data and prepare the ad hoc report. So once it is prepared, I validate that report with the stakeholders whether that is matching with their existing metrics or not, and if they need any certain improvement in data, like some logics into the backend SQL query to update some fields. So that kind of analysis also I have done. And once that script is ready, I prepare the SQL view and create the extract that into Tableau server to create the front end Tableau dashboards. So apart from that, I also worked as a uh, worked on different Tableau dashboards to optimize the dashboard, like changing the graphs or fields in existing dashboard. So yeah, that kind of activity I'm doing in my current workplace. And here I got chance to work on the Ultrix tool to develop the ETL pipeline, and Tableau prep tool, and Toad tool. Like it is I used in my last workplace also, but yeah, I'm much comfortable on Oracle.
Okay. So Akshay, in your current organization or in your current role, are you working with a team? Can you explain a typical life cycle of the project you work on, like in terms of number of team members? What are the roles of different team members and yours specifically?
Sure. So I'm not working with a team. Like I'm working as an individual contributor, but there are 4 people from client side with I'm working with. Like they are from the DBA team and some business users team. So I directly connect with the client to understand his requirement, and based on that requirement, if I found I need someone's help, or I need certain approval, or some help from the back end side, then I connect with the DBA team, and with the collaboration with the DBA team, I fix the back end problems like updating the SQL views or implementing the new SQL query into the database. So in nutshell, like I'm an individual contributor, so my normal work life cycle is it is a meeting held at around 8:30 every day. They give me the task and I complete that task in my daytime. So whatever work I do, I just show them like my current work status is been done up to this stage, and next step would be this, and that step needs to be done within the 2 or 3 days. Like I just give them a range of dates, like within 2 days or 3 days this work will be complete. So that's it. It is it's a complete work from home for me now, as I'm as an individual contributor, so there is no rush to come to office because my manager is also sitting in US, so they are not putting any pressure to come to office and do work.
Okay. So what are the different tools you're using in your current organization?
So the Tableau Prep, and the Oracle tool, that these three tools I'm specifically using, but based on the requirement, sometimes I use the Alteryx tool to develop the ETL pipeline. If there is no direct connectivity between Tableau and other database, for example, they have the Hyperion database, so there is no direct connectivity. So I am using the Alteryx tool to make the connection between the Hyperion database to the Tableau server.
Okay. And what are the tools did you use in your previous organization? That is Zensar, right? You left Zensar in Jan this year.
Yeah. So in Zensar, like my work is more on to the operational. So most of my work was on the Excel, like MS Excel and the Tableau only. So over there we had the live infrastructure of Tableau. So they had a Snowflake database. So we had a live connectivity to show the live data on the Tableau front end.
Okay. Fine. So, Akshay, I got your SQL assignment with me. On the 5th, I'll just share my screen. If you can. Yeah. Yeah, so this one, 5th one. So we are like, it was required to pull out results, something like this. And I've got a SQL code, but I think it's not complete or it's incorrect. Are you like?
Actually, I was struggling to complete that, but by considering the deadline, like I had only 24 hours, so I tried to go with a different solution, but couldn't make it. So whatever I was able to do it, I did. I am still trying to figure out like how can I achieve this. One approach is like to create a new table, like from 1 to 7 numbers, like row ID, and perform the join. So if I perform the left join by considering the row number as a left table, then output will return the null values, whatever row numbers are not present in the right hand side table. So if there is a null found into the row, then it will replace that row number with the null, and respectively the values will be repeated. Like the previous null value had some like 0.23 number, so the next value would be the same. Like that kind of logic can be implemented. But that is a logic, but I was trying to implement implement that in SQL. So
Okay.
I stuck in that questions.
Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to check if you was this your complete answer or you were missing out on something. It's fine. It's fine. No issues. Fine. Okay. Stop sharing. Yeah. Okay. So overall, like how long you have been working on SQL? Like, what is the overall experience? I think you have been using a SQL Server only in your current organizations, right?
Not in Sensor also I used, but my they had a ready-made script, but I only used to change the existing script based on the requirement, like changing the logics and because they had a pre-designed infrastructure with them. So in my current organization only I got chance to do it from scratch. So overall I have the around 4+ years of experience in SQL, but since last 1 year I am daily on day-to-day basis using SQL.
Okay. So based on your experience, is there anything you find difficult when working on SQL? Any challenges or any difficulties do you face while writing SQL scripts?
The difficulty is more into the validation part, like based on the requirement, whenever I write any logic and I get the output from that logic. So most tough part what I found is to validate that data with the stakeholders, because sometimes they expect different figures but logic doesn't match with the numbers. So I just rebuild the logic again to make sure the output is the accurate, because based on that output only I create the dashboard. If my output is incorrect, then dashboard will not make any sense. So that one I found is most trickiest, not complicated, but the most focused work, that validation, because logic we can build anyway, but the output is important what I feel. Second one is like as a if I consider the data analytics part, like performing different logical operations and building of different case statement and now based on the requirement whatever I write, that is fine, but I am not very much into the triggers and the store procedure. That is what I found is more advanced topics, but I'm trying to learn that. So that part is still grey for me. Apart from that, I'm pretty comfortable with SQL. And functionality wise, I'm using the Toad tool, but I found this tool is pretty slow. If I compare Snowflake, like it is kind of quick. It doesn't take too much time to log in and write a quick SQL query and check the output. But Toad is something takes time. Sometimes it takes too much time to load.
Okay. So, have you ever got a chance to optimize any SQL script? So, suppose you have got a SQL script from someone else from the database team or the data engineers, and it's taking too long to run, and you want to optimize the SQL script. So, are there any usual steps you take or the first steps you take?
Got you. So the first step is to identify the total number of tables has been involved to build that particular script, and do we really need those number of tables or all fields belong to that table. Based on that, I will try to cut down unnecessary fields which we are calling within the subquery or fields. Second one is like if we are using too complicated logic repeatedly within the SQL, then I would prefer to use a temporary table with a with clause so that we can call it again and again if whenever it is needed. So that would improve the overall performance. And the third one is like indexing, but I didn't use it practically. I just theoretically I read it like with help of indexing we can optimize the entire SQL script. So I think that approach would be most appropriate.
Okay. Got it. So coming to Tableau, like Akshay, how did you share your Tableau dashboards?
I shared on Tableau server. I share with the business users, and based on their credential, they can access the Tableau dashboard. Like there are groups already configured in Tableau server, So I just tag those groups while sharing. So only those people will get notification of that Tableau server or Tableau dashboard, and based on their access level, they are able to access the dashboard.
Okay. Speaking of access, do you know what role level security is?
Yeah. In the Tableau server, we can define the level of access for individual person, and based on the type of access, they will be able to access the, like, it will be read only, write only, or admin kind of access. So I think that comes into.
So suppose a user has got access to a dashboard, okay, and I want him to see only a particular set of data, not the entire data set, or not all the sheets, or not all the tabs. So is there anything we can do on Tableau?
We can set the permission for that specific user and only grant that access to specific user, like this sheet will be accessible to this user only, and then we can update it in server.
Okay, and suppose within that sheet, if I want user to see only these records or this particular set of so is there anything we can do on that if we want to go one level down?
There will be a way. I didn't check that. We'll check. There will be a way to. There is a way, but I didn't work on that part closely. But there will be a way.
Okay. So when you share your Tableau dashboard, what type of connections have you used?
I used live connection and extract connection. So in my current project, I'm using the extracted one.
Okay. So what are your reasons for using a live or an extract?
It's totally based on the requirement. For example, if the client want to track the data with reference to live update, like live data, whatever happening in current moment, then live would be more preferable. For example, like the hospital case study, like if you want to track the patient details, then we can prefer the live connection. Based on the entry in dataset, we can see the updated figures in the front end Tableau dashboards. But when we don't need updated data immediately, just we need after certain interval of time, as an example, after a month, like first of every month, just we want to see the sales figure, then the extracted connection would be more preferable, because it will store all the data into Tableau memory, like Tableau engine, and after the certain interval of time, whenever we schedule that report, it will update the entire Tableau report based on the actual backend data. So we can see that updated dashboard on specific date, and that is more quickly compared to live Tableau connection, because in live case, Tableau takes time to process the backend queries and fetch the entire data and show the front end dashboard. But in extract, Tableau already have the data within the Tableau engine, so it takes low time compared to the live connection and quickly show the output.
Okay. Apart from this, have you heard of incremental refreshes?
Yeah. So in incremental refresh, like whenever we set the incremental refresh after the running the full refresh, so in the next cycle, Tableau will only update the updated data. It will skip the data that he already refreshed last time. It will only check for updated records.
From updated records or new records?
New records from the backend database.
Okay. Have you used any calculations in your Tableau dashboards? Can you name some of the calculated fields, or can you tell me what LODs are?
Yeah, LODs are like a level of detail, and let's say we want to run a calculation by involving the multiple dimensions, then we can prefer LOD calculation. There are three main types of LODs, like fixed LOD, include LOD, and the exclude LOD. So these three totally we use based on what kind of visualization we are preparing in our worksheet. So in fixed LOD, like we can set a specific dimension or multiple dimension and give the aggregated measures with reference to that dimension to see how it look like in front end. As an example, let's say we have the region, and on the region we have the product category and subcategory, let's say, and we want to see the sum of sales. In general, that visualization will show the sum of sales with reference to subcategories, correct? So let's say if we want to see it only with reference to category, not from subcategory, then we can use the fixed LOD, like fixed category and sum of sale. And if we use it, then the visualization will show the sum of sale for that specific category only. And respectively for all category we can see. So it applies to all, like include, exclude, totally depend upon the what fields we are using into our visualization.
Okay. Have you used parameters? Can you just give me an example of why or where you had to use a parameter?
So parameter is more likely dynamic. We can use a dynamic filter kind of thing, where we will have the control over the measure or the dimension in visualization, and we use it to control our calculations also sometimes if we need it. For example, let's say we want to see the top 10 customers having the highest sales, but on the same we want dynamic control over the top 10 customer, like we want to say top 5, top 8, top 7. So we can use parameter to control that, and we can give that flexibility to front end user to select that parameter. Like whenever like he wants to see the top 5, he simply can select top 5 number in parameter and see the top 5 customer. So that kind of flexibility the parameter gives to us.
Okay. Have you tried using multiple data sources in your Tableau dashboard?
Yeah. In my current work project, in fact, I'm using the 3 different data sets in my one of Tableau dashboards, and I'm using the data blending. But I found the issues in LOD calculations. Like LOD does not support the fields from different data sets. So that is a challenging part I had faced recently.
Okay, so did you find a solution for that?
Yeah, I found a solution. I had manipulated the front visualization. Like we have the detailed box in our worksheet. So whenever LOD is not working, though, I used measure to use. I dropped that measure to detail to see at least front inside, like how it is look like, and it is working as per the expectation as of now.
Okay, and what are the data sources you have used? You mentioned about 3.
Yeah. The first one is like they have the Oracle. Second one is the Hyperion dataset they have, and third one they inserted from the Snowflake now. So 3 at the same place we are using. But I had suggested them to migrate at least one dataset to the another table, like creating the view into Tableau extract, so that it will improve the Tableau performance.
Okay. And okay, so what are the different domains of data you have worked on?
The domain is like the e-commerce domain I had worked, and finance domain, and the current one is like it is close to finance and revenue tracking. It is banking domain they are into it actually.
Okay. So, Akshay, have you had any exposure or any chance to, discover the data? So, for example, you have got a request. I'm just giving you a scenario. So, you have got a request from your business users, and you don't know where to find the data. So you have just got a dashboard or a PPT which has some charts, and they want you to build out this dashboard. So what is your approach? Have you come across any situations like this?
I have not came across, but as per my experience, what I'll try to do is I'll try to see uh, the current infrastructure, like how this they had designed the front end dashboard, and where the data is coming from, whether it's coming from directly from the data server or from Tableau server or somewhere else. So if it is coming from the Tableau server, then where the extract is been coming from. So I'll try to connect with the different cross-functional teams who are managing that particular server, and try to identify where is the data warehouse present, and where is the source of that particular data warehouse, like it is from Oracle or some other data source like Snowflake or any other. And based on that, I'll try to build a hierarchy, like who are the responsible entities who are managing that particular service specifically. And based on that, my actual requirement, if my tables or whatever data I need is coming from different sources, then I'll try to automate that part, so that I'll try to build up automate so that I can collect all the data on Tableau server for easy communication. And once it comes to Tableau server, then I can at least set up a scheduler to get a extract or updated extract over a certain period of time. So I think that would be my first approach. And definitely there will be a different steps involved, like getting the access of different data server, and getting out the data, like right, pulling out the data from different server that need a specific access. So that would be another steps. And yeah, once it is collected from server, then validation, of course, it will come in picture. Like once I collect the data, then I will try to validate that data with the business user, whether this data is something correct with your matrix, it is matching with your matrix or not. So that is correct. If that is correct, then only I will be able to push that data into Tableau environment and prepare the front end dashboard, or do the certain fulfill the requirement based on that. So I think that would be the basic approach.
Fine. Okay. Akshay, I think that's all. Yeah, I think that's all I have from my side. Do you have any questions for me? Yeah. So by considering this role, like what are the different technologies are having used, and how soon I will get the feedback on this? Okay. So in terms of technologies, we are using Oracle, SQL Server. We also have got Snowflake, and we also have some of our data in Hive, that is big data. So we are not entirely using big data as of now, but we are slowly moving into that direction. And as for the tools, we are using Tableau as a main reporting tool. We also have SSRS. And apart from that, there is analytics team as well who uses Python and ML models and stuff like that. Yeah. And so basically the role which we are trying to add is we are working on this new project where we are trying to merge different data sources. So some of our data is in SQL Server, some of their data is in Snowflake. So we are trying to merge that data. So there would be a lot of SQL Server scripting involved, and we also have got existing dashboards. So we want to update those existing dashboards based on the new data source. So that is the overall project which we are working on, and yeah, that's why we are looking for people who are good in SQL and Tableau. So yeah. And second question, in terms of feedback, I think I'll share my feedback with Diksha right away, and she would get back to you in a day or so. Sure. Yeah, sounds good. Like this is challenging approach, I see, and lots of learning is there. So we'll wait for feedback. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Thank you. Have a good day. Yeah, you too. Thanks. Bye.
So guys, so this is all about the interview. Hope you found this video useful. If you have any question, doubts, feel free to ask into the comment section. I will try to answer. If not me, one of you will be able to reply to your comment with the correct answer. And thank you so much for giving support to my one of live interview recording. So keep supporting, subscribe to my channel, share and like this video. Thank you so much.